Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a Poke investing roundup, just kind of going through the best top posts this week and seeing what's up with the Poke investing subreddit. Let me know if this kind of video is interesting to y'all. Let's get started with the first one. Sold my entire collection for 25k. As you can see, this guy's a pretty cool collection. We got a lot of Japanese slabs like this, starter trio in a 10, the Mew in a 10. Charizard V from Brilliant in a 10. That's a really nice card. He has some really vintage Japanese stuff. Big tip for you guys: if you want really old stuff in good quality, Japanese is an amazing way to go, especially if you're just trying to hunt it. Surprised he sold this for 25k. Oh, okay. There's a Moonbreon. Yep. Okay, that's in a 10. That makes sense. Pretty clearly, this guy is a Ninetales Enjoyer. A lot of Japanese cards. Not sure about the vintage prices on some of these, but I'm sure they're going to be pretty expensive. Oh, okay. He has two Giratina V alt arts. Yeah, the centering on those are horrible, unfortunately. Or the first one, at least. The second one maybe could have gotten a 10. Surprised he didn't send some of these in for grading, though. Like, that Gengar have gotten a 10. That Rayquaza have gotten a 10. I mean, look, it's hard to see the condition from these pictures, but if you have like really expensive cards like this, just check the condition once or twice to see if you can send it for grading. It's going to fetch you a better premium than purely raw. A lot of Sunzards, Blastoise. I don't know if he got all these from ripping or just in general has been collecting for a long time, because these are some pretty nice older cards, like this Venusaur EX promo. Brilliant Stars, the Umbreon V from Evolving. Yeah, this is a really nice collection. I'm starting to see why it added up to 25k now. Oh, we got some really good stuff here. Yeah, the Umbreon Darkrai promo, Espeon and Deoxys. Unfortunately, I sold my Umbreon and Darkrai promo that I had in an 8. And now I need it back again. Because I'm doing a Darkrai Master Set collection. This is one of the few ones I'm missing. It is very expensive, so I'm kind of building up my confidence to buy it. We have the Galar Gods. He's missing the Arceus, but I think that's one in a slab. The Charizard and Mewtwo V-Star. I think he went for the cheaper option in both. The Charizard V-Star in Japanese, I think, is a little more expensive than English, just raw, because the Charizard was a promo, if I'm not mistaken, or at least at some time it was. Now, if you want to get both of these cards in a 10, Japanese is super cheap. It's like, I think, less than $300 to get both in a 10. It's very affordable. Would recommend buying it before it goes up. He sold it all on Facebook Marketplace for 25k cash, so that worked. He probably needed the money. It is what it is. But yeah, that's one of the cool things about collecting Pokemon cards is over time, if you build a large enough collection, you can in fact just sell all of them and get a decent chunk of change back. That's why I love buying things like CSGO skins or Pokemon cards. They have resale value, and you don't just immediately lose money on buying something like that. Next post. I feel like we're finally seeing an uptick in people trying to liquidate their quote-unquote investments. Okay, kind of. What do you mean investments? These are investments. I mean, he has some pretty cool stuff. He says, these are just two examples, but I've definitely noticed more of these posts, and I'm loving it. Hopefully a healthy market is coming soon. So, obviously there are some new stuff, like Mega, Black Bolt, White Flare, Prismatic. Looks like the Costco bundle. But he also has some really old stuff, like a Lost Thunder ETB. Chilling Rain is not as old, but XY Evolutions? Pokemon Center Evolving Skies ETB? That is over $1,000, I think. Pokemon Center 151 ETB, he did amazingly well if we bought that for retail. That's like $1,000. A lot of new stuff, so like some Mega Evolution booster boxes, Searching Sparks. I wouldn't be selling these. Like this whole bottom half here, I think it still has a lot of time to grow. Even the 151 I would probably hold on to. But I think selling the Evolutions 100% makes sense. Lost Thunder makes sense. The Evolving Pokemon Center ETBs, I could definitely see that to reinvest into other products. But that's also, again, that's very nice. Like, this is what the quote-unquote investments are for. I don't know why this person has seems like they kind of a chip on their shoulder against this guy. But this is why you buy investments, because if something happens and you don't have the money for it, you don't have to take out a loan, and you don't have to, like, pay some kind of morbid, like, insane, an interest rate. You can instead just liquidate the things that you've been accumulating and sell them off. And you shouldn't only be investing in Pokemon, of course. You should probably also buy like stocks, Robinhood, an IRA, 401k, but you don't want to pull from those unless something seriously bad has happened. That's why having Pokemon as backup can be nice, because you can sell that honestly pretty easily. It's not super hard to sell a lot of these products. Like, I'm sure people would love to buy XY Evolutions, ETBs, and whatnot. Might take a little bit of time to get the money, but not bad. Next up, we got a reveal for the Mega Gengar SIR from the new set. People are saying it looks expensive. I have a theory that this card is not going to do as well as people think it is. I love Gengar. Like, don't get me wrong. I think this card looks pretty good, but it's not as insane as the Mega Charizard SIR by any means. I think if we got like Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar, I don't know why I said Haunter like that. If we got them all on this card, that would be cool. I do like the kind of wavy color patterns that are going on in the background. It's a very cool card. I'd love to see it in person, but I don't think it's going to do as well as the alt art from Fusion Strike or the Phantasmal Flames Charizard. I think this will do really good. I think the set is going to be good because it has a Dragonite in it as well. And yeah, very interesting card. Let's see what people have to say in the comments below. This card is growing on me. I'd like to see in person with texture. Yeah. Twilight. Oh, this person said it's going to be like the Twilight Masquerade Greninja because people didn't like that card when it first came out. I actually think the Twilight Masquerade Greninja looks a lot better than this. Maybe it's just me. I think that composition was really, really well done. I mean, blue and orange are like naturally contrasting colors. The kind of like paint Splatoon almost vibe I got from it was super fun. It was one of the few Terra Pokemon cards that I really enjoyed with the hat on, because it actually fit the theme and it looked cool. This is decent, but Gengar's not really doing anything cool here, right? In the Gengar or in the Greninja one, he's like throwing a ninja star at you, which I think is interesting. But in any case, I think a lot of people like it. Some people don't, so it is what it is. I think it'll be a decent chase card, all things considered. Snorlax Domino's promo in a 10. Wow, that's cool. I didn't even know they had a Domino's promo like this. I think this is in a regular set in English, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is it also a Domino's promo in English? I don't think it is. And he's asking if you should sell. I mean, this looks like it's a Grail card for him, so I would keep if you can, but if you got to sell to make your bills or whatever, you should always prioritize your health and the well-being of people around you over Pokemon cards. Should have kept it sealed. Yeah, I definitely feel that. I've opened a lot of Paldean Fates. It's one of my favorite sets of the Scarlet Violet era. But if you find yourself opening a lot of a set, I have a really good rule that I've started implementing recently is that if I buy a lot of, or I rip a lot of a set, it means it's probably a good set to invest in. You can kind of use that sensibility to then maybe put aside one ETB, buy two ETBs and put aside one to hold on for later, and then just keep the one that you have now. If anything, you could just wait until the ETBs then double and just sell so you make your money back. That's a really cool, like imagine you bought, let's say you bought half of these Paldean Fates, ETBs to just keep sealed, right? And you waited until they reached $200. You could have opened all these other ones and even made money on top at $50. And you might say, Paldean Fates ETBs for $50. That's not possible. Well, they were going for below that just a year ago. So it is what it is. Hot take, these Mega Ultra Rare cards, gold cards, will age incredibly poorly. So we have the gold cards that have been revealed. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the gold cards. I've never been a big fan of gold cards, if I'm being completely honest. I think they work for some Pokemon, but even these ones are not really my favorite. I think they look cool, but I always would prefer an SIR or an illustration rare over a gold card because I like artwork. I like seeing the Pokemon doing something interesting or something like that. But that I know I'm in the minority of people because a lot of the hobby is hype driven and rarity driven. For example, ponchos. I think the art on ponchos is absolutely like horrible. I think it's super boring. It's literally just Pikachu with a hoodie on it. It's like it's the most hype beast kind of thing to me. Personally, I don't like ponchos. I remember when they came out, I didn't like them. I didn't buy them at all. It's more about the rarity in that sense, right? There's not many ponchos around. They're a very exclusive item. They're like a very hard to get item. And so now they're thousands and thousands of dollars. I probably should have bought ponchos when they were cheap, but I didn't care for them, so I didn't buy them. And I could see the gold cards doing, obviously not as good as ponchos. That's like a very extreme example, but rarity is a very important thing when it comes to determining a card's price. So I actually could see these gold cards do well. In fact, I think these are probably the best gold cards we've gotten in a long time. Coming from someone who doesn't really care about gold cards, I think these are going to do great. Let's see what the comments have to say. Agreed, they look too similar to the fake gold cards on Amazon, Etsy, etc. I have seen them in person. I actually do think they look pretty cool. The pictures don't do them justice. Let's see, this person said, have you seen one in person though? They do look amazing in person. Just like black and white cards look underwhelming images, you see one in person and it's insane. Yeah. I do really like them in person. In fact, they look much better than the golds of previous eras. Oh, I get it. Hot take because Charizard breeds farther and higher side. Yeah, I think a lot of people disagree with this. Sweet, can't wait to pick them up cheap. I don't think you're gonna be able to pick them up cheap. I think SIRs will outperform in the long term. The problem with that though is that SIRs are gonna be added at a faster rate than the gold cards. Unfortunately, that's just how that works. Yes, they'll go down in value. I mean, obviously these will go down in value from what they are right now because they're overinflated. But once more supply hits the market, they will go down. I just don't think they're going to go down at the same rate SIRs will because a lot more SIRs are going to be added. However, we do know that modern pop reports aren't really the most important thing. I think the Charizard fan from Phantasmal SIR is actually more expensive than the gold card, and that might actually remain true even if a ton of them are printed just because the Charizard SIR is that cool and people want it that much more than the gold card. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, like a very extreme example is going to be Evolving Skies. Nobody cares about the Golden Inteleon from that set. Right? That's probably more hard to pull than the Umbreon. Actually, I don't know if it is, but we'll just say for the sake of this example that it is. Nobody gives a crap about Inteleon. Okay, let's keep it a buck, right? So the Umbreon is going to command a lot more higher of a premium, even if the card has higher pop. So I think for some cards, the gold card will do better. Like I think actually the Gardevoir and Lucario, I think the gold card is going to do better because they look pretty solid. But the Charizard, I don't know. He doesn't look right to me. I think the SAR is just too good. And so I could actually see the SAR overtaking the gold card or keeping that top spot. But we'll see what happens. I have no idea. Probably done, but I've been super curious and got this for $20. He's talking about I think this is a GameStop. No. Is this a CGC mystery gem? I don't know what this is. I know GameStop released their own like power packs. Is this it? Or is this something else? Yeah, I would never buy these guys because every time you buy something like this, you're never going to get the top chase. Especially if it's a CGC card. Like the resale value on CGC is just way lower than PSA, especially. I would prefer a PSA card if anything. But also 90% of the time you're going to be getting a junk slab, which is like some random holo or a promo card that someone decided to grade and it got a 9 and they need to offload it to someone and you end up being that sucker. If you have $20, just buy a card you actually like, and you could even then try grading that card to turn that $20 into $120. There's so many things you can do in this hobby to make money in terms of the quote unquote gambling aspect that is way easier and more guaranteed than opening these kind of mystery packs. It doesn't make sense to me. I would never do something like that. Guys, shall I keep or sell? Already got a 5K offer on the Charizard EX 276. Wow, this is a really cool promo. I've seen this one before. XY promo. I think it's hard to get in a 10 for English. I don't know what the proper words look like in Japanese. This guy blurred out the cert, so we don't know when it was created, but it looks to be a little bit more modern, which might actually increase the value. I think modern certs are good. Take the 5K. These have been trending down to 4K. Fair enough. I think with questions like this, do you need the money and what are you using the money for? Because this card is going to go up in value supposedly over time. If you believe that more people are going to enter the hobby, more people are going to look back and want older cards, then this promo in a 10 at low pop is probably going to go up in value. We'll see though. We'll see. I mean, if you need the money, you need the money. It also depends on what you bought it for, obviously. Like how much of a profit are you trying to make? Does that matter to you, etc. I really don't understand why people necessarily have to ask people in poke investing if they should sell a card or keep it. A lot of it should be a personal reason. Like if you don't even want the card anymore, if you feel like you profited a lot on it. And he didn't give any details on how much he bought it for, and he just said cha, which is useless. So anyway, need advice on selling. Working but haven't had a paycheck in 6 weeks. Time to sell the Pokemon Stash. Oh man, I hope this person is a government worker. I'm a federal worker. Oh, that's so rough. Yeah, I know the shutdown affected a lot of people. Unfortunately, I mean, I think it ended, so hopefully this guy's gonna get paid. But working for 6 weeks without pay, finances are getting tough. I don't want to sell, but rent and bills take priority. Yep, trying to get as much cash as possible. Okay, so these loose packs are, I mean, you could sell them. You'll get some money back, maybe like $50 or something. Nothing crazy. That looks like an old tin. Maybe I'm mistaken. I've never seen this tin before. That's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that's from either. What are the okay? Okay, guys. When you buy investments, don't buy these products. What are like? If I can't immediately tell what the product is at a first glance, it's probably a bad investment. You don't know what packs are inside here. These are random. I don't even know what this is. I don't know what's in this tin. You need to buy things like booster boxes and ETBs where people actually know what the set is, they know what they're buying, or some kind of UPC or SPC, right? Like it needs to be there needs to be some more clarity on what it is you're buying. Okay, this is a little better. It's an Iron Boulder tin, although it's pretty new, so it's not going to be amazing. Okay, these are practically worthless trainer cards. The Scythia's Ambition is probably the only thing that's worth anything here. Trick or Trade, Okie dokie. Okay, a Slowpoke. I think that IR is actually a little expensive. Shinji Kanda Slowbro, that's fire. Yeah, this is really... Oh, Cleffa. Okay, that's something. Oh, okay, if Flaming Flames Charizard, that is actually a card that could give you some money back. Oh, okay, hold on. V Altart, Lugia. That's big. And the Squovit. Yeah, I think the Lugia is the only thing you could probably sell here and actually get something decent to buy. Bought these and ripped, or didn't apparently, in 2023 from physical reputable chain store and fiddle. So, okay, I don't think this person was actually really investing. He probably was just a casual person that happened to have some of this stuff sealed. Maybe he just forgot to open it or something. But imagine if you had, kept a booster box or two sealed from 2023 or 2024. You could have bought a Sword and Shield booster box like Silver Tempest, like Lost Origin, like Fusion Strike for like $80. That would be close to $1,000 now, right? You would have made so much money on that, and this is why Pokemon investing can be very useful for you. If you're gonna rip a lot of Pokemon packs, which I do as well, definitely set aside a bit of money to just keep some stuff sealed and see how it does for you. Cold take: Articuno is the best card of Journey Together. I actually think this is a bit of a hot take. I think Journey Together has some cards that are pretty decent in my opinion. I think the Lily's Clefairy is actually a little bit slept on. It is a very fun card. Lily cards do really well. Clefairy is a Gen 1 Pokemon. I think the Articuno card is obviously great as well, but the Salamence SAR also looks beautiful, especially in person. I love that card. The Wailord is pretty good, and Zoroark is pretty decent as well. I think all in all, Journey Together is actually better than a lot of people think it is, and I think it's going to age better than people realize, especially with the Enhanced Booster Box coming with a promo, the Answerashi promo that is stamped and is actually fetching a pretty nice price in a PSA 10 right now. So I think buying a enhanced booster box or Journey Together is not a bad idea at all. Would I rather have a Journey Together, booster box or a Surging Sparks? I think Surging Sparks is probably better. This Articuno, if I remember correctly, actually has a pretty high gem rate. Let's check. Okay, so the Articuno illustration rate, let's see. Oh, it actually does have a pretty tough gem rate. So out of 17,000, only 6K get a 10. So we'll do 17. So that was around a 35% gem rate. Honestly, picking up a PSA 10 copy of this might not be a bad idea while it's still cheap. As we've seen with other, hard to acquire PSA 10 illustration rares, oftentimes the 10 multiplier can be really, really strong. Obviously, the Magikarp is a big example, but even the Ghastly from Temporal, I think kind of fits that bill as well. Tyranitar from Paldea Evolved as well. So I think picking up these low pop, quote unquote, lower pop illustration rares is not a bad idea at all. I think Articuno might be a good buy. This guy says buying the dip. Oh, he bought a ton of Evolving Skies. Great idea. This is what you love to see. Tons of ETBs, build-in battles, blisters, sleeved packs, booster boxes. I get so many questions on if Evolving Skies is still worth the buy. Yes. If you've seen Team Up, then you've seen what's going to happen to Evolving Skies. We can see the future. Evolving Skies is going to be one of the best sets. It's going to age absolutely amazingly. It is literally the best set of Sword and Shield, which is already one of the strongest eras in terms of the TCG, introducing alt arts and some of the best cards we've ever seen. I generally think this is an amazing buy. Plus, I'm seeing the second page. I mean, this is beautiful, right? This is what you love to see. Astral Radiance, it's okay, but Fusion Strike and Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Silver Tempest, and a bunch of Destined. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten this much Destined over the dip. I don't think the dip was that significant for Destined. I think it actually could drop a little lower. But man, yeah, all this Sword and Shield, this is what I'm saying. This is the smart move. See, I mean, it's not a huge dip, right? Like we started at 2.4K kind of price starting, saying that was the max. I think I saw it get sold for even higher amounts. But it has dropped around $200. Not the biggest dip. In fact, I would even call it more of a consolidation. But yeah, I don't think there's ever a bad time to buy Evolving Skies. I think the set is going to do absolutely amazingly into the long term. Let's see what the comments have to say about this. The dip. Yeah, I mean, it's not much of a dip, but I think it's a good idea. I think the Fusion Strike actually did dip some amount. Same with Brilliant and Destined, obviously. But yeah, it's definitely not a huge dip yet. You got in way too late on most of that product. The dip doesn't seem to be dumping into highly appreciated assets. I don't. Okay, I guess he bought 150 days ago, so it wasn't actually the dip and bought during the peak. I don't think he got in late on this product. I think he actually got in at a good time. Getting in late on a product right now would be like buying Sun and Moon boxes right now, which people are still doing. People still think Sun and Moon boxes have more room to grow because they are buying them. I think, Evolving Skies at 2K is actually still a pretty good price, in my opinion. That might sound insane to me, but I think Evolving Skies underneath 5K is kind of a buy. Obviously, I don't have money to just buy endless amounts of Evolving, but I do think if I had a ton of money, I would be putting it in Evolving, in Fusion, in Lost, in Brilliant. I mean, clearly this guy has enough money to do it, so, kudos to them. Okay, looks like we're seeing booster boxes at vending machines, which is pretty sick. I have a funny story about the vending machine. I tried to get a 151 booster bundle from one because it said it was in stock, and it didn't dispense the the actual bundle. It just took my money and it had an error. I'm trying to dispute the charge, but we'll see if it happens. I'm low-key kind of pissed that the vending machine just took my money and didn't even give me any product. And I think that's kind of the end of interesting posts here on Pokey Investing. But let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, if I should do more like it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.